Yeah. I want to welcome y'all to the Arthur J and Tori TV podcast. Let's get it. Just sit back and let it breathe. We coming with more heat. You only get one shot. You shady or maybe not. You capping, we laughing. We on a mission. Now listen, we making statements and stating some of opinions and some of fact. So sit back and just relax. All the bull don't get no slack. We bringing it back to back with a swag and a class act. It's levels to this, and the truth will show who your friends are. That hate you won't get far. So be great. Let's debate. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm Arthur J.
And on Tori Sadell.
And we back with another episode. We want to welcome y'all to the Arthur J and Tori TV podcast. We want to thank y'all for tuning in. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
What's going on, man? How's it going with you,
man,
bro?
It's going good, man. Can't complain, won't complain.
That's right, man. Y'all see the title, man. We're going to get right into it. I want to talk about get right into a point that you made starting off, and I want to tie you right into it, man. Nepotism did not start with LeBron. People in power do it too.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very powerful point that you made, and I want to tie you right in, and let's get into it.
Exactly. It's like this. I think too often as we want to choose who we want to make the face of something. Like LeBron James shouldn't be the face of nepotism, as I feel like the wave is going. We understand what has been happening, but at the same time, it's been happening for years. So as a black man, let's not just pick this one instant and say, oh, well, why is he doing this? Because at the end of the day, it's happening all across the board before LeBron even probably was born. It happened in key points or high-powered people. They always place their kids in better positions, and I don't blame them for it. So let's just not sit back and say, oh, this is a new thing and it's a new way just because LeBron James has started doing it or has the opportunity to bring his son into the organization that many think he's not ready for, but that's another thing.
Man, that's a very good point you made, and when I think about it, and I've been seeing clips and I've been just following it as well too, when you put it like that, people should really look at the whole fact, and we're going to get later on in the episode when I speak from another point of view of it, but when you look at it as historically and looking out for, I'm going to say it as how we would say it, kinfolks, your son at that, this is your son. We see that happen all the time where people at their job, people in different workforce in America, around the world, look out for their own. But then because we don't know how to separate being a fan or being a fan of the game, I would say, we tend to collaborate our feelings as a fan towards the movement and him looking out for his son, him establishing a foundation for him like we see all the time, like we've been seeing for years and years and years. And I thought that kind of moved me in a different way, being that I'm a basketball head.
Yeah, exactly.
You know that. You know I'm a person that I love basketball, and I critique a player no matter who they are. Don't care whose son you are or what your family tree is like. I just care about you as a player. In this case, when we look at and we break down him looking out and him being able to do what we're not used to seeing, what we don't witness, I look at it from that perspective before I get into it later on in the episode, how the other way I look at it. So I just thought it was just so profound in it, man. The thing I'm gonna ask you with this is with people critiquing him, why do it seem like, and I gotta go there, why do it seem like when it come down to our own, we have a problem with that so much?
Man, I don't understand it. For the life of me, I don't understand it. It's like it feels like they use us to push their agenda. Like, even though this been happening, now that a successful black man who has no blemishes outside of the court, really not even on the court, has no blemishes or nothing bad to say, they use us to attack our own. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like this. If you could, you would. Meaning, as a father, if I could put my kids in a better position, I would. So why are we hating? We talk about generational wealth, and I know we probably talk about that a little later, but when it starts to happen, we have a problem with it because he's not the first. You have Deion Sanders, who bring his sons on.
Let's talk about it.
We have the Ball brothers that bring it. He spoke that into existence with his kids. Now we just want to all of a sudden make LeBron be this bad guy for doing and looking out for his child. And I hope the other one that's coming along, he be able to do the same with him too. So I mean, we just have to stop and realize it's a bigger picture. We're talking about generational wealth in the black community as a black man and pushing the needles and setting goals that's younger youth are looking at that's coming up under this generation. Like they say, you can be president. We had a black president. We have ownership. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like where the needle was being pushed to more to ownership. So let's give that man praise and stop, I don't want to say hating as a strong word, but let's stop pushing this agenda that nepotism started with LeBron James.
And bro, I got to go there. Sometimes it feel like people be hating.
Yeah.
It really do. I won't say everybody, but the ones who are haters, you'll know that.
Mm-hmm.
I know people don't want to look at it like that because this is not even really about who's the greatest player of all time episode. This is strictly just looking at, how people they use that word on so loosely when it come down to us, but then and when it come down to this, especially this particular situation of LeBron making moves like this or just being so influential in this case, so they forget about. We don't ever even think about that word when it come down to seeing it in other fields, in other power, in other, leadership, and other people who's in position to move their daughters and sons and their wives and cousins and uncles, and we see that all the time. On 9-to-5 jobs, we see that all the time, and it's getting to be very redundant that people just continue to do that and act like as if they don't even notice that. And maybe some people are not aware of that, man, but we're gonna move on to the next one, man, because this is another it kind of tie into what we were saying, but discrediting our own for trying to gain generational wealth.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it kind of allow us to continue to speak more on it, but just go more in depth. Like, that's the problem that I have, and I'm gonna tell you right in it, where we would discredit our own in so many different ways when we see our own trying to pull, our family members up or even friends up, and because it's not you.
Exactly.
So I want to tie you right into it before I really get into that. Do you think jealousy play a major part in our culture when we see
others succeeding, and
we see like a person like LeBron bringing his son and putting him in position, and you see that he's having a chance? Do you think that that jealousy could play a part in it?
Definitely.
Maybe not in every case, but in a lot of cases.
I really do, because it's been like that for as long as I've been alive. Like if I have a nice car, it goes to how did he get that car, or how did he do this, or you wearing clothes, or you married, you got a big house. It's always been like that, and I think we was groomed back from slavery, and I'm not gonna go too far into that to being jealous of what the other got. They pinned us against each other so we can have this attitude that has grown in generational the way we think. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people be on here or be on podcasts or have a platform to say something, and they always saying how we should put back into the black business, the black community, the black this. But when you have somebody as a LeBron James as of right now is actually doing and putting his kids in a position to gain generational wealth, we have a problem with it. We find some kind of loophole to have a problem with something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just not for that. Even though one time when we first started, I was like, yeah, it's nepotism. But who cares at this point? Like, it's not starting with him. You know what I'm saying? And Bronny might end up being a great player. Who knows? We just judging stuff off face value and not really going in detail and waiting till the story actually align or come out or see him play a little more or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you could, you would. So
And the fact that you said a key thing. You said, I see it as nepotism, but who cares? That's the thing that I want people to really think about, because it's many times we turned our head. We may have said things amongst each other when we saw in different situations where nepotism existed in the work field and and we saw it in other areas, and we didn't make a big fuss about that. Why won't we keep that same energy, if not more energy, of not worrying so much about nepotism when it come down to LeBron and what he's doing for his son and what he has done for his son and just the influence that he have.
Exactly.
People like to bring up who deserving of it as a player and all that type of stuff. And it's like, what if LeBron, let me ask this question. What if LeBron looked out for your son? Not his son, but what if he, I want the two people in the back to wake up on this one.
Okay. Good point.
What if he looked out for your nephew who is striving to be this great basketball player? You know, what if he looked out for your daughter when it came down to the WNBA?
Yeah.
Will we still have that same energy and have that same attitude towards somebody who's looking out for your own?
Yeah. No.
But when they look out for their own, you're gonna be like, don't get quiet now. Don't get quiet now, because it's when it's you see it a little different.
Exactly.
When it's somebody else, you have a whole lot to say. You got to see it from two different perspectives, man. I want to tie you right in on that.
And then we're talking about a guy. It's kind of laughable, honestly. We're talking about a guy who's bringing his son or getting his son the opportunity to play in one of the biggest gross business we have in sports. And it's some jokers, some fathers can't get their son on at Burger King. But you're talking about this man getting his son into the NBA.
Let's talk about it.
Some of you guys who work can't get the person or a kid or a child, not even just son, but a child, period, on a job that you worked at for 19 years. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing? At this point, what are we doing? That's why I say it's laughable that we're really mad, or people are really mad about this man getting his son into the NBA.
Right, man. It's one of those things that, again, if it's not something that you are involved in, that's what it seemed to be in this world. And I gotta say it, you know, and I don't like to hold back on this because it's real.
Please don't.
When it's our own, we have the biggest problem with that. But we can't stand when the other race, you know, discredit us.
What it is.
We don't like when the other race do us wrong. We don't like when there's no fairness in the other race. We don't like when we're mistreated. But when it come down to our own against our own, we have no problem with it.
Exactly.
We quiet.
Like this question real quick before we move on. How many people out there that's been on their job and was asked to train somebody else to do and take over their job who just got into the workforce? Y'all think that's just because that person was skilled, or was that person favored, or he's kin to somebody in the workforce that you work in? You know what I'm saying? It happens all the time.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. So let's not treat this because it's a bit staged and the spotlight is on it. Let's not treat this like it don't happen. It happens all the time.
It exists.
Not saying it's right, but it happens all the time.
Yeah, keep that same energy. Keep that same energy that y'all have for everybody, and every time you see it in different, you know, situations, in different environments. Keep that same energy, no matter the color, no matter the race, no matter the person. You keep that same energy if you're going to have these same questions and these same ideas or these same, you know, curiosities. Keep that same energy, you know, and that's the thing that we got to do better on, y'all. We got to definitely do better. We going to move on. Oh, man. This next one, man. LeBron, powerful pull in the NBA is unmatched. You know, I'm going to start off and then I'm going to tie you right in on that. Something you said, and I'm before I tie you in, when you was talking about, you know, he deserved it. He have lived up to doing and being where he is, whether that's your favorite player or not, that don't matter to me. I want to talk about deserving of it. When you do things and you've earned the right to have an influence and be impactful to an organization or any organization you go to in the NBA, why does it seem like people have so much problem with him doing that, or him having the ability to have an influence on the coach that come in or the player that come in? When you get to a certain position in your life where people see your worth and they know what you bring to the team, people got to really separate your feelings over logic.
Yeah.
We say that we've been preaching that since the beginning of our episodes way back. You have to separate that. I want to tie you right in on that.
Man, it when I say unmatched, and you made a post on Facebook on draft day, and my first word or comment on your post was nepotism. And then somebody came and commented under it, but I said it's my opinion. And they said it like I'm saying that this has happened before, but I'm like, it ain't happened to this magnitude that we're seeing now. Like LeBron controls the player that he gets on his team. He gets, you know what I'm saying, and the coach now, even though I think Sam Cassell should have had an opportunity for that. But again, we'll talk about that on the next topic. But at the same time, this man is top 5. In the top 5 category. Y'all might, some people got him at 1, some people got joined, but he has put in a lot of work and opened a lot of doors for a lot of kids. And coming in straight from high school, let's keep that in mind now.
Yeah.
And actually lived up to the height and still playing at a high level and probably earned, I think this contract just alone, he earned like $100 million. Jordan ain't earned $100 million in his entire run through the NBA. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, hey, when you just that dude, and let's not forget, it's about the bottom line. It's about the bottom line. When we say this, it's about the bottom line, and he's gonna put people in seats. He's gonna sell tickets and all that. So if you want the win to float your way or push your way, then be able to put something in them people bottom line. That's what it is, and that's what LeBron has been able to do.
Yeah, and I'm gonna elaborate on that. Like again, because I know how people be thinking, man, when they hear about, when you even mention Jordan and you hear about, but Jordan, you know, money wasn't made like that back then and stuff like that. You know, I be thinking about every little thing that people would say or could possibly say, but that's neither here or there. At the end of the day, you just summed it up right when you said about tickets and putting people in the seats. And even to go back to with his son, you know, a lot of times people don't understand how business work. Now,
there you go.
Do I agree with business in every aspect of the game and in everything? No, just like life. I don't agree with everything in life, period, when it comes down to many different things.
Exactly.
So definitely with this, I don't agree with everything, but I understand with, you know, when you have a player like LeBron who sell tickets, people want to see him. Love him or hate him, people want to see him. You know, it's just like the Mayweather. Love him or hate him. When he was fighting, people want to see him.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, and that's how it goes. Like, you'll be surprised real quick when people will see or come to somebody's comment section and they'll watch all their videos and they just have so much hate for them or just have so much disagreement, and you'll ask yourself, well, why you keep watching? Why you keep on viewing it? So when it comes down to him having pull and power, they're going to listen to him because they realize that he has done a lot for the NBA.
Exactly.
You don't even have to be your favorite player. You know who my favorite player was always going to be.
Yeah.
But I understand things that's common sense.
Yeah.
Common sense is that if he's asking for something or he's getting his, you know, his views, they're gonna listen because he's the top player on the team. Anywhere he go, he be the man that, you know, they're gonna want to keep happy
on the team in the NBA, in the league, top player for years and years.
Yeah, it's one of those things you look at, but I'm just talking about any organization he go to in the NBA. Facts. It is what it is. You know, we can argue all day long about who's the greatest player of all time. I don't really care about that especially when we're talking about this particular topic. Yeah. But it's just about the pull and the powerful pull that he has in the NBA, and it's understandable. It's understanding that when you have worked so hard to get to, it's just like in any other field, people will allow you to have different opinions or have different say so on how you feel, and then they trying to keep you because they know how valuable you are. You got to know your worth, and you got to know how valuable you.
Yeah.
So before you hate or before you have all this disagreements and nepotism and this and that, understand where you got to get to the point where you can be in position to put your loved ones or who you care about in that position. And I guarantee you're gonna look at things in a different way when you are put in that seat.
Exactly.
To have that power, to have that decision that you can make.
I can't wait to blow this podcast up to say, hey, to one of our kids, y'all, we too old to keep doing it. I know times change, but we can't wait to hand this off to one of our children. So
yeah, man. We gonna move on, man. I want to get right into this, man. My perspective as a Laker fan on Bronny. We got a lot of time.
Here we go.
Now this is where
the fan of us,
of me come in. And
who's a huge Laker fan.
He's a Magic fan, so
Orlando Magic's the best team.
So of course
ever.
Okay, of course he's gonna not look at it as much as I'm gonna look at into it with this. As a Laker fan, I'm not happy. Yeah, I said it. Oh, Dr. J, what you mean you said all that? Again, like I said, as a Laker fan, I'm not happy. Historically, in seeing it, how we were saying, him looking out for his son, and just like we seen other races look out for their kinfolks, and I love it because I understand that part of it. But the part of being a fan, that's kind of hypocritical of me or bias of me to, as a Laker fan, I don't have no problem with it because it's LeBron's son, and because how I feel about it in other situations of historically him bringing his son and looking out for his son. But as a Laker fan, when I look at that roster, pieces matters. It really matters. I don't care whose son, who cousin, who nephew, whoever. When I look at that roster, I'm still looking as a Laker fan that we don't like to rebuild. We
reload. Ain't no rebuilding with Lakers.
Anybody know about Laker Nation? It's about the right now. LeBron is on his way out. Yes, he's playing good. Yes, he's still able to compete, but he's not 23. He's not 18. He's not this kid coming out of high school anymore. He's a kid. He's a man that is on his way out. He's at the end of his career. We all know that. As great as he is, we all know that. So when I look at it from that perspective, I'm looking at also the long run. I'm looking at also when he's gone, who's going to carry the torch for the Laker Nation?
Exactly.
So when I look at it from that perspective, of course it makes me be a fan and just ultimately be a fan and be like, okay, what are we really gaining with Bronny coming to the Lakers? What are we really gaining to have that piece, and then also as a fan look at what else do we need, because there's only so much you can do with as far as the cap space and all that stuff, and then on top of that, I see LeBron got his he took the max deal.
Yeah.
So he didn't take no pay cut, which is I'm not surprised because he never take a pay cut. He always get all his money. I'm not here to tell a man what to do with their money.
But as a fan.
Okay. It really burns me. It boils me because I'm like, we need it right now. Because other teams I'm gonna tell you right in, but other teams, they are getting better. They're getting wiser. They're getting more experience. They're coming. I'm looking at that East, and that East been weak for a while. Over the past few years, but that East is getting stronger.
Yeah,
I'm paying attention now.
Yeah.
So I want to tie you in. I know you're not a Lakers fan, but looking at it from a basketball fan, because I know you're a basketball fan, because obviously because you have a team, which is the Magic. We gonna get back to that.
We coming.
But how do you feel about it? Looking at it from a basketball fan.
As a fan, I feel the same way. I wouldn't say the same way, but I understand how you feel because I don't think it was a good move as a fan to say, hey, let's win now. But I also don't think they signed him, or he ain't even got a contract offer yet, I don't think, or signed the contract, let me say that. But I don't think he's a right now player. And I don't think they drafted him for right now player. I think he's going to go to the G League. More likely he will be in the G League, but knowing his dad, he wants to play with him. But I don't really see how they going to manage, as a fan, how they going to manage to put Bronny on the court, even showing with whatever he's done at USC. I don't see that him touching the floor this season.
Man, that's a very good point, man. That's a very good point because, you know, the NBA is different. It's levels, man. And, you know, he had that condition when he was at college with his heart.
Me.
Yeah, and, you know, so he didn't play. He missed a lot of games.
Exactly.
And then, you know, it's not like they seen him play in the NBA to have something to go by. So, I mean, we seen workouts, but
he had a hell of a workout.
Yeah,
he had one of the best workouts at the combine or whatever.
Yeah.
So
it's tough. It's a tough thing, man. Like I said, and me, I love the Lakers so much. Anywhere else he would have gone, I would have a different mindset because, you know, it's one of those things that I look at my team first when it come down to the NBA. Then I look at everybody else.
See, and I put it like this. If he would have went to any NBA team, never mind LeBron, I still would feel the same way I feel.
No,
I don't feel that he's ready for the NBA. You know what I'm saying? To be on anybody's roster or being able to touch the floor this year. I don't care about what team it is. Yeah. I don't believe he's ready right now. And a lot of people will be saying, oh, this, because the reason a lot of people feel this way about LeBron because they saying the old saying, somebody else who they figure is better, right now he got somebody's spot. Well, somebody who they feel that might be well deserving, them put up better numbers. I think he has a guy on the USC team that hasn't been drafted, and he had better numbers than LeBron. But at the end of the day, it's about the bottom line, and it's about we say it all the time. Sometimes it ain't what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
And at this point,
and those who speak like that, like, I can understand why they feel that way.
I feel
because I was feeling that way before it was a Bronny. So why would I not feel this way now that it is a Bronny?
Jada said it best, like in one of Jada Kiss, that why I'm not quoting him quote for quote. He said it's a cat up north better than Jordan, but didn't get that break. Yeah. It always happens. So don't say, hey, somebody's more deserving of a spot than he is. It always happens. Everybody ain't gonna make the team. Everybody ain't gonna make it in the NBA. That's just what it is. That's sports, you know. Yeah. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah. Get your education. If you're playing on a scholarship or whatever, get your education, and you know that's just what it is.
It's definitely gonna be interesting to see, man. It's one of those, like we always say, it's so many different layers and a big broader conversation all day we can have with this because there's so many. Even with you saying about people saying there's so many people that's deserving of that, because I've seen just in a smaller case like high school and when people start over another player that I've looked being a basketball fan, like, why is he starting over this? And
it's popularity sometimes. Let's put it all in
exactly.
Popularity.
That's what I'm going at with it.
It spins, it pushes the needle a longer way too than just talent itself too. Let's not act like it don't.
Yeah, man. You know, we can just, you know, talk all day with it, man. And you know, in closing, we shall see. We shall see. We're gonna sit back. We're gonna you never know, we may come back with this and talk about the moves that are made once the season start or get closer to the season or however it turn out. But you know, as a Laker fan, I'm just looking forward to seeing what we're gonna do. At the end of the day, I want to make a comeback. Don't get mad because what happened in 2009. We ain't gonna go there because we ain't got a lot of time. But I want y'all to click that like, comment, subscribe, Please share. We got more on the way. And I know y'all probably wondering, like, when is the guest going to come? When is the guest going to come? You got to understand it's very difficult. Everybody have different schedules. We still trying to grow. Other people be doing their own things. And, you know, it's a lot behind the scene that goes into putting this thing together for you guys. So we want y'all to stay tuned. I'm Arthur J.
And on Taurus Adele.
Until next time, like we always say, peace.